The more I tune into self, listening and interpreting her needs and desires through whichever ways they are expressing themselves, and the more I am attentive, being a caretaker and serving Her Majesty, the more I listen, learn, understand, accept, and honor her requests, the more our relationship is solidified, and the deeper our roots ground themselves into foundations of safety and security, the more she trusts me, and the more she reveals and shares pieces of her magic with me, and the more I rise in love with her. I really become delighted in this symbiotic relationship we have. It's so whimsical and filled with wonder. Anyway, I learned a long time ago and continue to be reminded, like in this moment now, that no matter which way, shape, or form her wants and needs show up or express themselves as, at the core of each and every one of them is the desire for freedom. But of course that's what it is. I already knew that. Makes sense because free is the nature of who, what, when, where, why, and how she is. She is pure freedom. Her very essence is free. With her, freedom more often than not branches off into two secondary desires: freedom of expression and freedom of expansion. And from there spawns infinite versions of freedom. And right here, now in this moment, I sense very clearly and loudly that she needs freedom in the form of permission. And I am honored to grant her that. Tradisha, here is your permission. I give you, no excuse me, correction. Here is a reminder of the permission you already, always, and forever will have. Dear Tradisha, I give you permission to not give a fuck about other people's opinions. What they think is their business and ain't got shit to do with you. Plus, don't be so quick to assume that their thoughts might be unpleasant, because more often than not, they're gonna love it, and that'll be a bonus, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. But remember, you are the full course meal, the judge, jury, and executioner. So dead all of that noise, both internal and external, that does not speak truth. You have permission to release the fear of being exposed, judged, or vulnerable. Girl, dance, sing, write, cry, express, and journal like no one's watching. You have permission to be seen, heard, and understood. And you have permission to be overlooked, ignored, and misunderstood. Because remember, at the core of your desires was never validation or even recognition. It is always for the sake of freedom. Freedom to express, freedom to evolve. You have permission to present whichever parts of yourself that you want to, at any time and for any reason. And you have permission to not ever need a reason for anything you do. I remind you of your permission to express yourself freely, however that may be. I remind you of your permission to create however you desire. You don't have to adhere to any form or structure. You don't have to stick to any posting schedule or timeline if it doesn't feel aligned. And if you want to, then that's cool too. You have permission to do with this channel what you may. Create what, when, where, why, and how you so choose. You have permission to not give a fuck about any standard, status quo, or expectations. You have permission to pivot, change your mind, and take this channel in any direction at any time, however many times. You have permission to go with the flow and be flexible. You have permission to take your time and go at your own pace. You have permission to start, pause, continue, or stop when you want to. You have permission to allow your current vision to evolve over time. You have permission to allow this channel to take on a life of its own, because you already know that's what's going to happen anyway. And I remind you of your permission to not be attached to any outcomes. You have permission to start without a plan or not follow the plan that you already have. You have permission, in fact, I encourage you to take messy action and to release perfectionism. Permission to bypass past patterns of analysis paralysis. To get out of your head and into your heart, body, and soul. You have permission to listen to your feelings and only follow your intuition, spirit, and inner guidance. Permission to go wherever inspiration leads you. You have permission to treat this like a passion project or just a temporary endeavor. You have permission to release any and all pressure, self-imposed and external. You have permission to start and complete, start and not complete, or not even start at all some of the creative projects you have in mind. And permission to not feel disappointed when you don't meet your own expectations. I remind you of your permission to express your wholeness, your vastness, your multifacets. Permission to release any preconceived notions of what an artist is. Because let's face it, you and I both know you can never be confined to any boxes, titles, or labels anyway. Permission to create without any limitations or restrictions, while also implementing boundaries that you may find befitting. Permission to rest and relax in your comfort zones and challenge yourself in healthy, expansive ways. I know you like to do both. Permission to not know everything or have all the answers all of the time. Permission to always be a beginner at anything and a lifelong learner. And it's okay to learn the same lessons multiple times without feeling like you're taking 2 steps backwards. That repetition actually leads to mastery. Permission to be confidently unsure. To have faith and trust in yourself and path even when things are uncertain. Go ahead. Dive deep into the beautifully scary, exhilarating void of the mysterious unknown. You, me, the universe, your guides, and spirit are always here to support and uplift you whenever you need it. You know that. But 9 times out of 10, when you jump, it'll be like landing into the warm embrace of outer space, hugged by the open arms of zero gravity. And you there just floating, just coasting. As long as you stay in a state of ease and allowance instead of force or resistance. You have permission to express, create, and share for the sole purpose of expressing, creating, and sharing. Although your original intent was for your docuseries, then learning and practicing the art of storytelling through filmmaking. Underneath that is the desire to create, which is stemmed from your desire to express, and always rooted in freedom. Remember, you are not your creations. You are a conduit, the expresser, the birther, the alchemist. May you express and create so long as it is what you still desire and is in alignment with truth, your truth. And it's okay that the launch of your business is on hold for now while you honor your soul's desires for creative expression. It'll all come back full circle in ways that you can't see right now. Just trust that by following the call down this creative path, you are simultaneously paving the way for your business to unfold beautifully along the path that it's meant to. Remember, you decided to treat life like an exciting game or experiment, if you will, an adventurous journey of exploration and discovery. Be lighthearted. This is your personal playground. Have fun and be free, honey. Well, Tradisha, these are just some permissions now in this moment related to this channel and your creations. You will need reminding of your other freedoms related to other areas during other phases of your journey. You have permission to be okay with not remembering all of these things all of the time. Permission to forget and be reminded of these permissions that you innately have as many times and as many ways that you require. Oh, and one more thing. You don't need to berate yourself for literally not being able to conform to other people's ways. You aren't meant to. What seems to work for most people will not work for you. It's not supposed to. Honor your own unique path. It is divinely ordained. Just honor it, and success will be inevitable. All your hopes, wishes, goals, and dreams will be achieved. And the best part is, it'll be like you barely even tried. 'Cause all that you desire becomes a given when your truth is what you honor and live in. Whew. Okay. Wow, I have to repeat that again. All that you desire becomes a given when your truth is what you honor and live in. All that you desire becomes a given when your truth is what you honor and live in. Yes, much gratitude.